Hello MotoGP fans, welcome back to ZNGP today. Marc Márquez continues to make headlines in MotoGP 2025 with yet another electrifying performance, this time in Le Mans. Just days after bouncing back from a crash in Jerez, the 8-time world champion came out swinging in the French Grand Prix weekend, smashing the track record and positioning himself as the man to beat. But beyond the lap times, Márquez delivered revealing insight into his growing synergy with the Ducati, and why he believes he still hasn't tapped into its full potential. In a candid admission, Ducati's Francesco Bagnaia has accepted that his early season struggles may be tied to the adjustments needed with his new bike. The 2023 world champion, known for his sharp braking and corner entries, has had to shift his approach after realizing that his familiar weapon with the Desmosedici GP24 is no longer at his disposal. But despite these challenges, Bagnaia's response has been clear: adapt and fight back. Yamaha's Friday at Le Mans was more than just a Quartararo show. Jack Miller delivered one of his best Fridays of the season, making it 2 Yamahas in the top 6 and locking in a direct spot in Q2. With consistent pace and growing confidence, both Miller and the team are beginning to believe in a sustained turnaround. Fabio Quartararo gave the home crowd something to cheer about on Friday at Le Mans, placing second in free practice and showing signs of real progress with Yamaha. The 2021 world champion once again emphasized the positive effect of the Evolution engine and high grip, but didn't shy away from reality. On more demanding tracks, challenges remain. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. The Ducati star led free practice 1 by over half a second, and in the afternoon session, he obliterated the track record with a 1'29" 855. The performance confirmed what many already suspected: when Márquez keeps it upright, he's nearly unstoppable. Still, he's not letting confidence cloud his focus, citing past errors in Austin and Jerez as reminders to remain disciplined. "I had no doubts about our speed. But it's Friday, caution and prudence to the max, because tomorrow and Sunday are the days to share the points and I've already made mistakes on 2 Sundays," Márquez said. With weather forecasts suggesting possible rain for Sunday's race, many riders might feel a pinch of anxiety, but not Márquez. The Spaniard, who's proven himself capable in wet and dry, brushed off concerns, saying comfort in all conditions is key. His priority remains clear: grab a front-row start and avoid risky situations during the race. "If it rains, there will be water for everyone and you don't have to think about it. You have to understand the feeling." Asked about his rivals for Sunday, Márquez named Pecco Bagnaia, Fabio Quartararo, Maverick Viñales, and his own brother Alex, current championship leader, as potential threats. Still, it's evident that the biggest challenge for Márquez is managing his own pace and avoiding costly errors. Despite the tight competition, he continues to suggest he's not riding at full tilt yet. "I don't feel extremely fast, but then the times are very high. I have to set my limit more for the times than for the sensations themselves." Perhaps most intriguing is Márquez's remark that, despite knowing Ducati's limits on paper, the bike always seems to offer more. His 2 crashes this season, one in Austin and the other in Jerez, came not from recklessness, he says, but from fine margins in interpreting the track and bike behavior. This raises a thrilling question for Ducati and the grid alike. If Márquez is still discovering what this machine is capable of, how much more dominance could lie ahead? "I know where the limit of the Ducati is, but this bike always seems to have more," concluded. As Marc Márquez chases his 7th MotoGP crown, his performances and perspective in Le Mans serve as a warning to the field. He's fast, calculated, and perhaps not even at full stretch. With the Ducati beneath him and a hunger to make history, the rest of the grid will need everything they've got to stop him. The weekend is just getting started in France, but already, the shadow of Márquez looms large. It's been a season of tough realizations for Pecco Bagnaia, whose hopes of continuing the dominant form he showed last year with the GP24 have been tempered by an evolving Ducati. During the French Grand Prix weekend at Le Mans, Bagnaia acknowledged that it's no longer possible to chase the feeling he once had with the GP24, so he's now trying a new strategy. In a shift from his usual approach, Bagnaia had to sacrifice his strength in braking and corner entry, focusing on carrying more speed into corners, something that doesn't naturally align with his style. Yet, despite this adaptation, he finished the day in a promising third place, just 2/10 behind teammate Marc Márquez. It's a shame, because braking and corner entry have always been a weapon for me, but I'm not having it anymore, so it's a double shame. However, I can adapt by trying to carry more speed into the corners, and today I tried a lot. Bagnaia's statement. Bagnaia's decision to adapt, rather than return to his old bike setup, reveals a strong sense of determination. As he explained, finding the right balance on the new Ducati is key. The speed on Friday was encouraging, but Bagnaia recognizes that more work is needed to close the gap to Marc Márquez. He remains hopeful, confident that with continued adjustments, he can bridge that small but significant difference. I'm quite satisfied with the work that was done today. I have to find other ways to get the time, because the difference is there. But I'm sure that by taking another step tomorrow, we'll be able to close this gap. A question arose about whether Bagnaia might consider switching back to the GP24, but for now, the Italian remains focused on making the new bike work. He admits that Marc Márquez's advantage in chassis development could be a factor. Márquez has had the chance to test an advanced chassis, while Bagnaia has decided to hold off until the upcoming Aragon tests. Despite the challenges, Bagnaia is not ruling out the potential for improvement. To try a frame, you have to do a test. During a race weekend, it's very complicated to try a new frame. If Marc is keeping it, it's because he has an advantage, so it's definitely an improvement, but it's not necessarily the same for me, so we have to wait until the Aragon tests. As the race weekend unfolds, Bagnaia also reflects on how crucial the start of the race is in determining success. He pointed to Fabio Quartararo's strategic performance in Jerez, where getting in front and setting a fast pace forced rivals to take risks in overtaking. With similar conditions, Bagnaia believes that starting strong could make all the difference. If you could do what Quartararo did last race, that is, you get in front and go, then everything changes. The feeling is a bit better and you put the one behind in difficulty, who has to take a lot of risks to get to overtake you. Added. Francesco Bagnaia's Le Mans approach signals a quiet but strategic shift in his 2025 MotoGP campaign. Adaptation, rather than stubbornly chasing the old feeling, is now his mantra. With promising pace on Friday and determination to keep evolving, Bagnaia remains firmly in the hunt for the title, knowing full well that the next step in his adaptation could be the key to unlocking more speed and consistency. Jack Miller has had a bumpy ride this season, but at Le Mans, he showed signs of serious improvement. He finished Friday just 0.422s off Marc Márquez and less than a quarter second behind Quartararo, who was second overall. That effort put him straight into Q2, his first since Coda, and gave Yamaha another reason to feel optimistic. It has been a good day, as it is always positive when you manage to pass directly to Q2. I felt good from the very early laps this morning. Quote from Miller. His consistent race pace in the low 1 minute and 31 seconds range has him well positioned for Saturday's sprint and Sunday's main race, with confidence rising thanks to a productive Jerez test. Miller credited the recent Jerez test for much of Yamaha's current form. With the latest M1 upgrades, including the Evolution engine, both Quartararo and Miller are showing stronger one-lap speed and more stable race pace. The test in Jerez was really what we needed. We're building and getting a good feeling, which here in Le Mans can be tricky sometimes. He admits there's still time to find, especially in key corners like 9 and 10, and the final sector, but that just adds to the optimism that there's more performance to unlock. It's not just the riders feeling the momentum. Pramac team director Gino Borsa also acknowledged the positive trajectory Yamaha appears to be on. Quartararo's performance shows Yamaha is on an upward path. The updates we tested in Jerez, including the new engine, are starting to pay off, Borsa said. Borsa emphasized that Miller's Friday pace was strong from the outset, a promising sign ahead of qualifying. While Quartararo and Miller made headlines up front, Miguel Oliveira quietly returned to MotoGP action after a long injury layoff. The Portuguese rider finished 21st, but his focus was more on getting reacquainted with the bike. I was relieved after my first runs. I missed a lot of technique and got tired super quickly. But it is what it is, this is weekend zero for me, Oliveira said. His presence alone was a small victory, as he looks to build back race fitness over the coming rounds. Yamaha's upward path is no longer just about Quartararo. With Miller finding speed and Oliveira back on track, the team is shaping up to have its strongest weekend of the season. Whether that momentum holds through the sprint and Grand Prix remains to be seen, but one thing is clear, Yamaha's rebuild is starting to show real results. Back on familiar ground at Le Mans, Fabio Quartararo delivered an encouraging performance in front of his home fans. Clocking in just 177 thousandths behind Marc Márquez, the Frenchman was upbeat about the session, saying the team is doing much better than in Jerez, and that the feeling on the bike is improving, especially on high-grip tracks like this one. Today we showed a good pace on the flying lap but also on the race pace. Many seem fast, but I feel better than in Jerez, the feeling is better, Quartararo said. While Quartararo admits that pole position is within the realm of possibility, he tempers expectations by aiming for a front-row start. Known for his ability to push the limits over a single lap, Quartararo jokes that he can disconnect his brain when needed, especially when confidence is high. Take pole? It's always possible, but I think the realistic goal is to try to get a position on the front row, or fourth or fifth position, Quartararo said. Quartararo confirmed that Yamaha's Evolution engine, first seen in the Jerez test, is delivering. The improvements in 5th and 6th gear are particularly noticeable, and crucially, it hasn't disrupted other aspects of the M1's behavior. The new engine is confirmed. The 5th and 6th gear is better. It's positive also because it hasn't affected anything else regarding the behavior. He also highlighted the measurable step forward across circuits this season, citing time gains of 1.5 seconds in Qatar and 1.4 in Jerez compared to last year. The recurring theme in Quartararo's comments remains grip. High-grip tracks allow the Yamaha to shine, while low-grip circuits expose its limitations. That's why performances like these, while promising, must be viewed through a realistic lens. We have to be realistic. When we go to circuits with low grip and high tire degradation, we are not in these positions. We struggle a lot more. This is the truth. Fabio Quartararo's performance at Le Mans is a bright spot in what's been a challenging but evolving campaign with Yamaha. The Evo engine, strong grip, and the support of the French fans have brought out the best in him, at least for now. But the real test will be consistency across different types of tracks. For now, though, Quartararo looks ready to fight at the front in France. Thanks for watching ZNGP today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!